Sometimes, the greatest danger does not come from strangers, but from inside the home. What begins as care, sacrifice, and family duty can slowly turn into bitterness, suspicion, and deadly anger. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification button so you don't miss out on our next story. Now, stay with me as we uncover how love and trust in one family in Ondo turned into a tragedy that shocked the entire village.
On a quiet morning, in a small village in Ondo State, peace was shattered by desperate screams as fire swallowed a family house. Neighbors rushed out with buckets, sand, and bare hands, hoping to save lives. But what they witnessed that day will haunt them forever. It was not a random accident. It was a carefully planned act carried out by the very person the family believed they were protecting. Stay with me as we uncover what really happened inside that house on that fateful day before the flames rose. The village of Aponmu in Ondo State woke up on Tuesday, March 21, 2023 to shock, confusion, and deep sorrow. A fire had broken out in the compound of Mr. Oloro, throwing the entire community into chaos. Screams for help filled the air as neighbors ran towards the burning house, doing everything they could to rescue the family trapped inside. Victor Oloro was a businessman known for his honesty, hard work, and strong attention to safety. He was not a careless person. This made it difficult for those who knew him to believe that the fire was accidental. After a long struggle, neighbors and friends managed to put out the fire, but as the smoke cleared, a disturbing sight caught everyone's attention. Standing quietly beside the burnt house was a 75-year-old woman, calm, still, and watching everything unfold without a word or a single attempt to help. At first, many assumed she was in shock. After all, it was not unusual for someone her age to be frozen by fear or sadness in such a terrible situation. But very soon, it became clear that her silence meant something else entirely. Victor had been living in Akure with his wife and children, running his business, but due to his mother's failing health and the fact that she was a widow living alone with no one to care for her, Victor decided to move his family back to the village to look after her mother. What was meant to be an act of love would later become the worst decision he has ever taken in his life. At first, the family lived together in harmony, always supporting and looking out for each other. Victor's mother played a central role, offering wise counsel, guidance, and practical assistance whenever it was needed. Her presence brought a sense of balance and stability to the household, and her care strengthened the bond between family members, making their home a place of comfort, love, and mutual respect. But in a surprising turn of events, the once loving, peaceful, and happy family would soon be torn apart by envy and jealousy. It all started when Victor's mother, who was getting weak and falling sick more often because of her old age, became very ill at one point and had been taken to the hospital. Her sickness was so serious that she had to stay there for several months to receive proper treatment. The whole family was worried and prayed for her recovery. After staying in the hospital for many months, she was finally discharged. But what was meant to be a happy and joyful homecoming soon turned out a scene of unexpected terrible attacks. Victor's wife, a hard-working and determined woman, had started a small business in the family compound, selling palm oil, local gin otherwise known as ogogoro, and a few other things to help support her husband while his mother was away in the hospital. Her business began to grow as neighbors and visitors came to buy from her. When Victor's mother came back, she noticed how many people were buying from her daughter-in-law. Instead of being happy or supportive, she felt jealous. She decided to sell the same thing the daughter-in-law was selling in the same compound to someone looking from outside. It might have looked like the family was working together, but the truth was very different. Victor's mother was not helping nor supporting the business. She was outrightly in for a competition. Few months into the business, she noticed that people still preferred buying from her daughter-in-law rather than buying from her. This made her angry. Filled with envy, she accused her daughter-in-law of using black magic to take all her customers to herself, turning what could have been a simple family business into a venture full of tension and rivalry. The matter was reported to the village head and was said to have been settled, but that was only the beginning. A few weeks later, Victor's mother raised another allegation. this time accusing her son and his wife of neglect and starvation. During investigation, she would later explain that she was always given food only once in a day, except on rare occasions that she got fed twice in a day. According to her, the sudden reduction in the quantity and frequency of food confirmed her suspicion that her daughter-in-law had spiritually turned Victor against her using black magic, the same magic she had used to take all her customers to herself. Feeling angry, rejected, and pushed aside, Victor's mother began to nurture a deadly plan one she believed would give her justice. What she did not realize was that her actions would not only affect her daughter-in-law, but will completely wipe out his son and his entire family. In the evening of Monday, March 20th, 2023, Victor returned home from work tired, hungry, and exhausted. That night, Victor's wife prepared dinner. They all ate together as one big family, sitting on a round table. Unknown to Victor, just like the story of Judas Iscariot, the very person who would betray him and his family was seated at the same table, eating, laughing, and smiling with them. In the early hours of Tuesday, March 21, 2023, around 4 a.m., while Victor and his family were deep asleep, Victor's mother put a plan into action. She quietly laid dried palm fronds around the house and placed inflammable materials such as clothes, firewood, and gas cylinders at strategic points, ensuring that most of them were close to her daughter-in-law's room. Convinced that there would be no room for escape, she poured petrol around the house and set it on fire. So when neighbors woke up to what would later be described as one of the most horrific sights Aponmu village had seen in a long while, Victor's mother saw it as a punishment well deserved. Victor Oloro, his wife, and their 2 children were later rescued from the burning house and rushed to a nearby general hospital. However, the doctors on duty, seeing the severity of their burns, declined to treat them, citing lack of modern equipment as an excuse, but rather referred them to Federal Medical Center, Owo. Before they could get to Owo, one of the children, who was badly burnt, died on the way. The remaining family members continued to fight for their lives, but on Sunday, March 26, 2023, exactly 5 days after the attack, Victor and his wife took their final breath and were confirmed dead. The 75-year-old mother was arrested and interrogated. She confessed to the crimes but showed no sign of remorse. She insisted that she had been mistreated, starved, and at one point taken to a hospital she did not approve of when she was ill. Claims she said justify her action. Today, some people question her mental state. Others struggle to understand how a family disagreement could turn into such a brutal tragedy. Was it jealousy, business rivalry, neglect, or something darker had been growing for years? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.